Well, on my 20 years. of
Walmart, $2.95.
Hey, that's a $200 watch.
Look at this.
Shoot, that's 20 years as a lab.
Hey, Carl.
Why don't you all join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody here today. Last week didn't work out so good, did it? No. All right.
What was wrong with last weekend?
Oh, I forget.
Yeah, nice.
Last week wasn't bad, it's the week before there was.
Yeah, right.
The ice that we didn't get.
Sissies.
We didn't get anything.
We didn't
done.
get any ice?
Not really, no.
Nope.
But,
Stay dry all day.
Yeah.
of course, we're called to order. Public comments. Anybody need to make a public comment?
Bring up one. You were talking to me a little bit out there right now. I would like to see the printout, the breakdown on that, what you missed.
Do I have to get that from the, I
You don't-
told him that Dina figured the taxes that all of the agencies would be paid if the hospital was taxable. Paid property tax, not exempt. It'd be about $540,000 a year.
They would have to pay in property tax
Yes.
if they weren't tax exempt.
Correct. But on the other side of it, we get an annual report on the giveaways that they do in healthcare.
Yeah.
And it's millions,
It's a lot,
okay?
yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll ask Dina if she can draw something up.
I can run by there and see if she's got it.
Yeah.
I'll be
Well,
glad
I don't know whether she has it. She just figured it for me and figured it high. Because she has a evaluation for all of the facilities, so, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
Don't they have to give, don't you have, hospital have to give away so much money a year to be tax exempt, right?
In order to obtain or retain our not-for-profit status, we are required to give away a portion, and we vastly exceed our portion
I knew it had to be a certain amount, I
in
knew that.
healthcare
Yeah.
dollars.
Okay, I
In
knew that.
EMS alone, last year, it was, in the year, it was over $1.5 million. Over the last 5 years, it exceeded almost 11 million in EMS alone. And then the hospital, of course, is more than that.
Right. Plus all the volunteer stuff they do too that they don't charge for, which,
I'm sure that's in kind, they
Oh, yeah.
probably include.
right.
Okay. You guys have I'm sorry, did you have anything
No, I
else?
just, I'll wait and check on the documents. I just want to see the
Okay,
documents, to have that all laid out.
I think there probably is not per se documents, it's, she knows what is exempted, and she's figuring based on something what it is. So I don't know whether there's documents, or what we just assess them at, okay? I don't know what she has, so. All right?
Has anybody figured how much each household has to pay in taxes for the ambulance service? Has anyone figured that out?
Mine's bigger than yours.
Pardon?
Mine's bigger than yours.
I know that. I just wondered.
Carl's got more land than you, it all, I mean, that's like asking.
Right now, they're paying nothing.
I knew that. For 5 years, I've paid that.
Yes,
Right.
it's nothing.
Right.
The folks up in Chrisman are paying 17.2 cents per $100
Okay.
equalized to value, okay? So, that's what we're dealing with. You guys have anything you'd wish to report or this morning, or answer questions, or
Not unless you have questions for us.
folks? Samantha, do you have
I
any?
do not.
Okay. All right. Moving along in the meeting, we had a design meeting, last Thursday? With,
I wasn't there.
you weren't there? Oh, okay.
Well, I wasn't
No, I guess I was the only one there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was supposed,
there. Yeah, on Friday.
it was supposed to be Friday, but I was busy. and I
That's
couldn't
right,
make
I
it.
was, you weren't, yeah.
Yeah.
At any rate, it went well.
Senility strikes early, didn't it?
Especially when you're the only one there.
I had a great meeting. The nice thing about it is they have Michael hired a firm out of Champaign that does kitchens. Okay, which is already included in what we're paying him for. But to check to see, gave him the square footage and so forth, and you were on the call.
Yeah.
And so was Jeff, and then there was some design people on, but roughly what it states is that the area that already exists in the plans would not have to be expanded. The only thing that might have to be expanded is a door put in and a freezer, cooler put in that would be adjacent to the building, which is a relatively small thing.
If we went to a
Full kitchen
Full
eventually.
kitchen.
They're not doing that now.
Right,
They may go ahead and, we've always talked about a convection oven. They have a new type of oven that they'd rather put in. They're gonna wire the place, have the design for, if we move to a full kitchen, already designed, have all of the infrastructure in, plumbing, electrical, everything will be there and sized correctly for a new design. So, and that's all included, and so we don't have to worry about expanding the footprint of the kitchen. Am I stating that fairly correctly?
Yeah. Yep.
And Jeff well, even,
Ryan.
who's, Jeff and you and
Ryan.
Yeah. He would all had input and talked about a bunch of different things, so we're all good. Even down to pizzas. Frozen pizzas. Well, yes,
So what you would be putting in now to serve our needs, would that have to be replaced, any of that, if we went to a full kitchen?
no, no.
No, incorporated into it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And they may go ahead and put, they're called electric ovens.
Electric?
Yeah, it's,
They against gas, are they?
well, this is,
It is Illinois.
A newer type of electric oven that they,
Yeah.
a larger,
that can
Commercial-
use for
commercial.
warming, can be used for cooking, all kinds of different things. And they go ahead and put that in now, we're
said
talking roughly.
more efficient than the older style convection oven,
Right,
and wouldn't require the overhead
right.
hoods and whatnot,
Yeah,
so.
you're right, with electric, yeah.
They're trying to avoid hoods and ancillary systems wherever we can avoid them, okay? So that was that. Did I miss anything else? You got the ambulance proposal request. Now, this isn't a public document yet because until we advertise it, it isn't public. But if you would review this, make sure it has everything in it. I think, Carl, it reflects everything that you wanted in it. It kind of streamlines it, and then we can discuss it more at the next study session on the 12th, okay? Let's see. 911 amendment is simply to clarify how the board members are appointed. In the past, it just said the board, our county board will replace them. Now it says that the chairman of the Edgar County Board, like with all boards, with the approval of majority of the members present of the board, will make the appointment, instead of just the county board does it. It just cleans it up and verifies. All right. Joint dispatch. I've talked to Rick. Well, first of all, we have a rough draft of what we're doing, or what we're proposing to do. We've done some investigating, going to Clark County, I think. Did you go, or was?
Yes.
Yeah, so, do you wanna say anything about that, as far as joint dispatching? Let me describe, what we're doing is we're trying to set up a deal where for 6 months, we provide joint dispatch only 7 days a week, for 6 months, from 12 to 8 AM, from midnight to
midnight
8,
shift.
the night shift. And have them handle the city calls. And within that, they're going to also provide us with dollars for that service for that set period of time. They'll make you pay for any changes that need to be made electronically or communication-wise in the board. They would still be under the direction of the sheriff. The deal will allow us, either party, the city or the county, to pull out if it's not working with 2 weeks' notice. And that's kind of the thing, and we've been working kind of as a study group between part of the city folks and the county. So we'll be presenting that to the board. I talked to Michael Martin this morning. He's given it to Cash just to review it and maybe put it into a form where whereas and all that stuff. But he's doing that. We've discussed it with our state's attorney too, so he's aware of what's going on. I talked to Rick. He is going to contact the union rep to make sure everything's clear. This will involve no city employees being laid off for that 6-month period or beyond. I don't know how that works. And they are not union, so that was a big deal to make sure that it worked correctly. But I emailed him again this morning and told him that we kind of needed to know where we were at. The city is looking to pass that on Monday the 12th. Well, a little over, 2 weeks from today. But we'll see how things go. I let Michael know that we were checking on those things, so if there was an issue, we would go from there. And you folks were supposed to check with the police chief and so forth about any electronic or communication stuff that needed to be done. And Michael said, when do you want this to go into effect? And I said, as soon as we can, but it would be based on Terry and Jeff saying they're ready. Okay? Is there any questions? Yes.
What's the anticipated impact on your workload for 911?
For, go ahead.
So they would be handling, everything else as far as 911 and all that will still be the same. What they're looking at is handling basically the call taking and radio dispatching for the city of Paris police officers that are on duty between midnight and 8 a.m. So it is going to increase their workload some. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now with this trial period. It's just a test phase to see, how much exactly it's going to add to their workload. So to see if it's feasible to do it with one dispatcher, if we need 2 dispatchers, just to kind of to feel it out and see, how possible it is to do.
And as I understand, Clark County is doing it with 1 dispatcher at night without any issues at this point.
Typically.
But we need to know. I
Yeah.
mean,
I don't know how many officers they're typically running for the sheriff's office or for the city of Marshall, or if it changes night to night, so, Clark County does that for the other municipalities down there in Clark County, like Casey and Marshall. They take over they actually do 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. for those municipalities down there. But, works well for them down there, so we'll see how it works up here.
any other
It
questions?
works pretty well.
Down there, yeah,
Like Martinsville, Casey, when you said Casey,
Marshall,
I'm thinking
yeah.
Martinsville's in between, okay.
yeah, Casey, Martinsville, Marshall.
Of course, they've got the interstate down there too,
That's
so.
true, yeah.
I mean, it's a fairly comparable. I think they've got a little higher population there, don't they? Than we
I think
do.
it's slightly less.
Marshall's
Marshall's
slightly less.
smaller,
Yeah.
Marshall's smaller.
Marshall.
Really?
Half the size of Paris.
Well, no, I know that,
But
but they've
I
got
think
keys.
countywide, I think it's slightly smaller than,
Okay,
I don't know,
well,
10 years ago, but this last census, I'm not sure.
okay,
15,300 as of 2021.
so they're a little less than we are,
Yeah.
they're
pretty
1,000.
comparable, especially like you said, with having an interstate running through there.
Yeah. Anything else? Did you have anything else to add to that, or the jail, or anything else?
Nope.
How many inmates do we have right now?
12 this morning.
12 this morning. Okay. We did get up to big 15
Yep.
last week.
Yeah, last week all the way to 15.
I was talking to the public defender this morning. He said a lot of it's boiling down to mental health people and issues of getting them help and the state agencies responding and all that, don't they? Far off base. Okay, so, just so you're aware.
Has your population been around 15 for a while?
It's been pretty steady between 10 and 15, yeah. Yeah, we were down to 9, I believe,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, we've
For
been,
sure.
been holding pretty steady between 10 and 15. That's
Do you usually have a female in there?
inmate,
Mhm.
yeah,
Probably
you know,
should.
usually 1 or 2.
Just, very good.
Now, 6 months to a year ago, it was 20s, 30s,
There's 30s.
before that new law went into effect.
Yeah.
That's what's really dropped.
Yeah, that's what's dropped, it's the Safety Act.
Yeah.
So do you just find you pick them up more, the same ones?
Yeah, catch and release.
Catch and release.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of pitiful.
Instead of having receipts from the local eateries, they've got just a stack of notices to appear sitting on there. Yeah. All right.
Do we have anything else scheduled for the jail with Michael or anything?
No, he's setting it up.
Okay.
It's gonna be soon.
Yeah.
Yep. The tower, we still have not got in the, I asked Josh again, he emailed him, and I said, stop emailing him and call him up and tell him we need to go. Same way with the design for the, with Chastain on the sewer system. We've been bugging them, I talked to Michael about that this morning, asking that somehow they push them along so that we can take advantage of the bidding at the time and doing what we need to do, so. The runway project has finally, we've cleared all the paperwork. They were trying to do the resurfacing of the original main runway at the airport last fall, but state didn't get the paperwork done. It is now done. We're gonna be transferring the money to the state. Our share is a little over 119,000, and that'll come out of the airport funds. So, wanted to let you know that they're hoping to do that. Open Roads is hoping to get, that's one of their first projects that they're gonna do this year.
Which runway is it?
The original,
Okay,
the north-south, is that north-south?
east-west.
East-west, that's what I said, east-west. Was that at the meeting?
That was fun.
We're going to have a brief amendment to the personnel policy that all workers, this is a state law, all workers in the state employed, whether it's one person or 5,000 people, you have to provide, even the part-timers, with at least 1 week of paid vacation, okay? And we already do that, even for our part-time workers, and we've done that all the way along, but we need to codify it in the personnel policy, so it's in there, so if the state audits us, it shows that that's the way we do it.
I'd like to put in my week of paid vacation there.
Okay, all right. Andy, you already had yours.
So when you say a week of paid vacation, is that saying it has to be 40 hours, or is it
It's based on, if
based on
you
how
work
many hours they
20 hours,
typically work?
if the last 6 months you've worked 1,000 hours, then you divide 1,000 hours by 13 weeks.
Okay,
And or 13, and that's
so
your
based
pay.
on the average of what they
Right.
typically work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Does the state help us pay for that?
No,
They just mandate it?
nope. Yep, that's one of those freebies for us.
That's
Just like
nice.
the
And
educational
the
system.
unionized workers are excluded.
And what?
Unionized workers are excluded.
Are excluded?
You're welcome.
Because they're already covered, they assume by a contract.
Yep.
That's all I have on my end. Andy?
Did you, have you talked to Dina about our sign?
Yes.
Okay.
We
I
were all
texted you, but
waiting
you were
to
gone.
figure, that's what I was calling about, but I figured I'd wait. She said that you said that hold off on the signs till you get back.
Okay, so we'll
So-
go figure it out pretty quick.
So
then.
you've,
Yeah, we need to go down and talk with her, maybe after the meeting, we go talk to her. She did you see that sheet from the sign shop down in South End
I
Town?
think that's what she sent to us. I mean, she sent me a quote.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. Now, I assume we're not gonna put anything on the doors because they're too small and it blocks them too
Right.
much, right?
Right, yeah.
That's why I was concerned about that. And
I can't, I read that, was it just for 2 signs? Or was
To
it,
be three
signs?
I think it's 3 signs, cause it's,
have you got it? Because I
yeah,
can't.
I got it.
I left it at home.
I thought it was just 2 signs, one on either side of the door, that there was room for a 3-footer. It's like 3 by 6 or 3 by 5.
And then, you know, when we were talking to her a few weeks ago, we talked about inside the office, having one for treasurer, one for supervisor assessor, and that wasn't on the quote. So
And
we-
that, the big sign across the top wasn't on that quote either.
Right, yeah, so,
No, the big sign. No, that's not what she sent me. She must have sent that later.
well, maybe we can go down there afterwards and talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to her.
Anyway, we're just waiting to get those up and on. And do we want them to put it on? We probably should have them affix it to the,
I guess they didn't do the last one, did they? What the hell is
Yeah, they were the ones that done the ones uptown,
that? Yeah,
the decals and stuff, but I noted on that quote, it did not include installation.
yeah, I noticed. And it did not, or where are we posting the hours? Are we posting it on the doors or,
I don't know,
because those, that wasn't included.
well, I don't know, we need to
And
go
we
and
need-
talk.
Yeah, kind of make a list. We need also no weapons and allowed and smoking. Well, I think there's already a smoking thing on both sides on the windows.
No guns allowed? Oh, jeez.
Well, if that's
Put
what,
mine away.
except for man.
Silver gun.
I'll leave mine in the truck too.
Better not.
I don't think so,
I don't know what,
You're sitting right there with you, brother.
I did have it. But every time, every time I push it, it comes up 510, but it was $1,200.
yeah,
So I don't know where this 510 one came from. What year was it?
here.
Well, yeah, it was 22, that's why. That was the last one. Oh. I wonder where she sent it from.
Probably sitting on my desk. So anyway, nothing has been done. The simple answer is nothing been done on the signs.
Right.
Okay? So, we need to obviously get those. Matt, I noticed that we're still getting those guys parking. Now they were up to 4 vehicles the other day.
Okay, I ran the plates on those. So I've got the owners wrote down there in the office and I'll try and make contact with them. So they're
Yeah.
obviously, the addresses aren't correct on any of the registrations, so. They're probably in that apartment building there on the corner, I'm guessing, but
If we need to do any permanent posting, please let us know,
yeah.
so that we're legal,
Mhm.
okay? Because if we go to court and, or something like that, I hope we don't have to, and the judge goes, is it posted? No.
Yeah.
There it
Yeah,
is.
I'll make
You got
contact
it?
with them.
She changed from Dina at whatever to that, her email changed. 3x61, I guess it's, I think it's 3, right side, left side, and then, so I think it's 3 for 1,200.
I don't know, where's the third one for?
Well, there'd be one for,
The south door goes just to the right of it in that 3-foot section there.
one,
Okay.
I'll have to ask her, because it doesn't delineate what they are.
And then the
I was
other one
assuming would
is
be
the same
treasurer,
thing,
one would
there's,
be-
there's 3 different signs, one for treasurer, one for,
Assessor,
yeah,
yeah,
because before they've always done one sign,
for both of them,
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, we're not gonna figure it out here, we'll just go talk to her,
Okay.
because I only saw 2 physical descriptions of signs. Anyway, so if you
Was you gonna
guys,
pull one out by the street? Yeah, I was gonna ask, You have one by the street too,
Where are we gonna put it?
I don't know,
It's all
I
asphalt.
thought we talked about that one
There's,
time.
there's no real place to put it.
Just put a big one on the building.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're thinking up there where it said Diamond Brothers previously, but it's kind of government center up there.
Yeah.
So
Edgar
very
County
visible
Government
from
Center
the
is
street.
what we need to go up there.
That's okay with me.
or, yeah.
But they should probably put the signs on themselves, they'll do a better job that way. They
The makers.
Yeah, and if that way it's guaranteed, and if there's some problem, or if we split a sign, putting it up or something.
Maybe, I'll think about it.
Okay, that's
I don't
fine.
want somebody, Jared Rig get something on the side of the building, not say they would, but,
Well, you,
or
I don't, whatever works, I
I'll
don't
confer
care.
with Ray about what's behind that siding. I think it's the block, and I think that would be fine, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you have anything else at this point? Dan, the man?
What? I stopped in the
We need a
shelter,
cat report.
I'm getting a dog report.
Okay.
Stopped in the shelter last week, talked to Andrea. Because of the weather, she had gotten all the dogs inside, which is good, because she did have some outside pens, but because of the weather, she got them all inside. How, I don't know. I met the new employee, seemed really nice, and Andrew's really happy with her, so. Other than that, everything's working out fine, so. She's got some work she wants done out there, but she got plenty of money in her donations that she can.
Yeah,
Take
she got a
money
lot
out
of
of
money
it,
in
yeah.
donations.
She went there.
We're not a bank.
I'm watching you all the time.
No.
She wants some new pens, which she just diagrammed out, so.
She needs to take it out of there and start using that stuff.
She will.
Rather than a budget.
But everything's fine.
Who is the new employee, Dan?
She's from Louisiana, a fairly young person. I don't know her name, but
It's a hell of a
Andrew's
commute.
really
It's a
happy.
heck of a commute.
Andrew's really happy with her. I don't know, have you ever met her, been to see
No,
anything?
I just, Linda mentioned the other day that thought she was gonna work out real well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yep,
As long as you
all I
don't,
have.
as long as you don't know that's a good sign.
Cats are doing fine, I fed them all
Yes, sir.
yesterday morning. Clyde hadn't come by for a while for his meal at home. Clyde, big old male. My wife said, "How you know he's a mess?" I just lift up the tail.
That's disgusting, you're a pervert.
Haven't got him caught to neuter him though, huh? You haven't got him caught yet to neuter him though.
Yeah, oh, he hadn't been neutered. Big old male.
I don't know if I wanna grab him or not, if he's big,
He's big, really friendly
Live
though.
trap.
draw back a
Sorry.
bloody stub.
Yeah, if you didn't hear that, did you?
Nope, I'm fine with that.
So Clyde hadn't been haunt by the house for a while. So he's a male. Wife says, "How you know he's a mess?" I just lift up his tail. I'm done.
Okay. Please, Carl.
Are you making any progress on the UCR stuff? Good.
Very good progress, yeah, just about to finish it up for,
Good.
2023, so.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down to, I have just a handful of reports that, I would have it completely done except for the program was throwing an error. So I talked to our vendor about that, he's working on it, supposed to get back to me today and hopefully have it all finished up and submitted this week. We have until February 5th to have it submitted for the year. So that should get us completely caught up for 2023.
Great.
Do we have to go back any further? Or is-
I can go back.
No, I mean, will it help us or?
I asked them about that, they said, I asked them if there was any benefit to going back. He said if your records management system will allow you to go back, he said you can enter it. He didn't really say one way or another whether there's any financial benefit, but I'm gonna go back as far as our RMS system will allow us to go back and enter it into the state database, so. But the 2023 was the priority for me to get done.
Oh,
So-
absolutely.
Yeah.
so
Thank
it-
you very
It
much.
was, 2019 was the last time anything had been submitted, so this will get us compliant for this year anyway.
Good.
Carl, anything else?
No,
Nope. You don't
Lisa?
have any reports, do you?
No.
Lisa,
no.
we've been
Lisa?
waiting for this.
Um,
This better be good.
Yeah.
Well, of course it is. It's all numbers. Well, not really numbers, points. But first, I needed to go find a quiet spot to do some work the other day while I was down here, so I used the conference room at the government center. And just went around and visited with people. And Dina's staff is, they're having to change how they think more than anything to adapt to not all being in one place. But I think that once they get over that, they will enjoy where they are and try and where all their records are. Visited with Dawn's staff and we talked about, and then I went back and visited with Ross, and one thing we talked about was security, which he said you guys are already working on, which is good because that was a concern for me.
He's doing a breakdown of the courthouse, the government center, and if we have any panics anywhere else. So the court security can pay part of it, and then we can pay for the rest for like the government center. But those needs, and for like the circuit, or county clerk, if we're gonna do those two, because we don't have any panics anywhere right now, do we?
At the new building?
Oh, yeah, at the new building, we don't.
The courthouse
The courthouses work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern there. That and sound does travel in there
Yes.
quite a bit.
I've heard that from several people, that
Yeah.
the walls are pretty thin, you can hear.
Well, girls have to be careful what they're gossiping about
Oh, I know.
and how you guys are.
And,
Guys are usually worse.
yeah.
I was in the other day, boy, it's quiet and nice in there.
It is, as a whole,
Mhm.
yeah. I feel like they have a very appropriate place to work now. Is there a need for us to meet with Jessica anytime soon? And what about her new part-time employee?
They're working on it right now.
Okay,
In fact, Ross and she are working on it.
all right. That's that. So, went to the ROSC meeting and Marissa did a nice job of telling what all Horizon Health is doing on their behavioral health side. And if you pass that over to Matt.
Is that our Marissa that's used to be with
No.
different Marissa?
Mhm.
Okay.
That Marissa works, as far as I know, still at Champaign County
Okay,
Health Department.
that's,
Yeah.
I just.
At the ROSC meeting the other night, there were 17 in person and 6 Zoom. They discussed several things. One thing that Dr. Fry and I have been talking about was drug court and the status of that. And so I was really glad that Phil Doblstein was there because he can definitely play an important role in the ROSC meetings. I really don't know that I need to attend. I'll probably attend one more, but I don't really have a role as a county board member. So he was discussing the fact that you're using recovery court rather than drug court, and that enables you to do basically the same structure without having to go through the certification, and the certification and can actually be a little stifling. And so it was nice for Phil and Jonathan to discuss that. And another person from HRC was also there talking about it. And they only have one person that's in it right now. You can add to this anytime you want. One person that is on it right now. There are 4 phases, and if you are successful going through all 4 phases, your probation can be reduced to 18 months rather than 30 months. Doug Cochran is now certified, I don't know by what entity, to be a trainer on labor and sex trafficking, and he offers a service for any group or entity that wants to discuss that or have him trained. And
labor and sex trafficking.
labor and sex trafficking.
Labor law.
Labor trafficking. It's
Yeah.
in having people up
Illegal
here.
aliens.
Yeah, having people up here enforce labor.
Surprised he's finally got a job.
And Neighborhood Watch, there are more than 700 on
That's good.
Facebook. And, I don't know, do you watch that? The Neighborhood Watch Facebook page?
I haven't followed it, no.
Okay. There are a lot of video snapshots posted on there, or videos, and somebody will say, hey, do you recognize so-and-so? And Scott Foster always pops in and says, have you reported it? Or is your camera registered? So he does a really nice job of making sure it stays Neighborhood Watch focused and not a gossip busybody page. But it does seem like there's been quite a bit of value to that. My favorite one was recently somebody said, hey, if you see my gray Jeep at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's because my cat was out. I wasn't trying to see what was in your backyard. That in itself had some value. Probably the most interesting thing, and I know this isn't really out for public discussion yet because they aren't necessarily sure that it's going to become, that it'll go any further, was, if you remember on Kenton Street, first it was Beehive and then it was Carriage Crossing, Memory Care, and then it closed. There is the possibility of starting up a recovery home there. They say it would cost about $300,000 to start it up, and then theoretically, it would be self-sustaining. To meet state or federal guidelines, it would be a maximum of 16 beds. The thought was that they might be able to use opioid settlement money that's coming. So it would be really interesting to hear the city zoning conversations about that, if it comes to that point.
We have 40, 50,000 in opioid money already sitting in an account. I don't know how much we're gonna get in every year. We'll have to see.
So if this was to be discussed or explored further, then that would be a matter of Jonathan coming to us and saying,
You would know better than I what
Okay.
avenues. The state's attorney would definitely be involved with that opioid money and directing it.
okay. That is all I have.
Yes, sir.
I went to north of Lafayette yesterday afternoon and went up 63 across, and seemed like there was thousands of wind turbines.
Yes, you must have been in Benton County.
Benton and White County.
Yep.
But anyway, of course I've seen that for every time I go up there. But anyway, I was talking to the guy, farmer up there, and he said he lives in White County, which is north of Lafayette. They're getting ready to start a major solar farm project up there. And I mean, it was fairly flat ground, and I got there a little before dark, and it looked like it was pretty good ground. And he mentioned there was like 700 or 800 acres across the road from him that cash rents for $425 an acre.
Holy cow.
And that's the type of ground they're putting those solar farms on. He said, I think he said they're paying $800 an acre in rent, you know, if you put your ground in the solar farms. But
Put this out of production.
but it's just that type of ground that they're doing that. And, you know, I keep hearing talk about over on the, across the state line, the strip, you know, the strip pit, where Peabody used to be, putting solar farms in there. That's the type of ground that they need to be focused putting those solar farms on versus
And they're-
that highly productive
They're
ground.
talking 6,700 to 8,000 acres on that one.
Yeah.
For solar panels?
For that one alone, there's another one they're talking about, that they're talking that same amount of land.
Can I ask something, Carl? You know much, well, I know Baker County gets their water from over that way, right?
Correct.
Have you had any dealings with that CO2? What, you're talking about I'm just curious. I
Mhm.
That's
I
on
know
the
they're
back
all
burner.
concerned over there, and it's, I mean, it's gonna affect here too,
Right.
as much.
Yeah, the wells and everything is just across the state line.
Yeah,
And I know the people from that Wabash Valley, whatever they're called,
Resources.
they met with us, because the city was concerned because of the water coming from over there in that area. And they assured, you know, based on studies and everything, it's not gonna affect that. Because,
It's double sealed and all that stuff.
yeah, because what they're putting it down like 5,000 feet, just off the top of my head. And where the water's coming from is a lot less than 1,000. And there's formations down there that they say that will protect the water. And obviously they'd be monitoring it all the time. And I just noticed in the Terre Haute paper the other day that the EPA gave them approved of 2 permits for them to move the project forward. So it looks
Really?
like, yeah, that maybe it is gonna happen,
like in the winter, or the turbines
yeah.
in that area too, though, if you put that above, is there much, I'm talking about weight distribution, and if there any shifts?
There aren't any turbines in that area.
Well,
But-
okay. He
but
was
up
mentioning
north-
something about
Right.
that.
You know,
about strip
I've
pins.
never heard anybody talk about that. I guess it's potentially could
That's an
happen.
engineering question about footprint and how
Yeah.
the weight's distributed from the towers and
Right.
all that.
But he said a lot of the new ones up there are 800 feet turbines. You know, he said they're getting bigger
Yep,
compared, because, you know, there was, with ours, with our setbacks, wasn't it based off of 600
Yeah,
foot
yes.
turbines?
yeah, it's 3,200, yeah.
Yeah,
But the other thing is they're going taller and bigger because that way they have less turbines
right,
and they've got less
Yeah.
ground that
yeah.
they say. Now, whether they'll stick with that, I don't know. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn? Andy moves, Russ can't second. Phil seconds, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you. So you're gonna go over there then? Whatever you guys wanna do is fine.